Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today in the bakery I'm going to be showing you how to make a white fondant. Now a fondant is a product which is sugar and water, and it's used all over the world for cake, decorating, confectionery, everything to do with chocolate. They are always using a fondant in it somewhere along the line. Very easy product to make. Please subscribe and please share. Don't forget the recipe is below the video. Anyway, we'll get on with the video. Right, you start with, guys, adding in your water into the sugar. Now give this a good mix round with a wooden spatula, or like I'm using, a whisk. What you're doing is breaking down all the sugar so it goes into a nice fine syrup. What you're trying to do is get rid of all the lump and bumps, the stuff that's actually in the sugar, so it's dissolved into a clear, constant syrup. Now pour it into a large saucepan, or like I've done, is a frying pan with a very solid base. Give that a good mix round, and now what we're going to be doing is bring this to a rapid boil. So as fast as you can get it to the boil, the better. Keep stirring all the time and just keep an eye on it. This will probably take on a hob around about 10 minutes. That's right, keep going round and round with your spatula or whisk. And as you're going around, the contaminants that come off the top of the surface, just get rid of them because you don't want them. You'll find all the way through the process that you're going to get contaminants on the top. Now get back to giving it a good whisk again. And if you notice, it'll start getting a little bit clearer now. As she comes to the boil, remove all those little bits of contaminant. Basically, it's residue from the sugar. Now give it another whisk. Everything's now starting to dissolve down and it's becoming a very clear liquid. There you go, see how clear that is? Just keep it boiling, just get rid of those bits of contaminant. I know this seems a bit of a pain, but it's all worth it in the end. Give it a good whisk round. And now add in your glucose. Now that's been pre-warmed up. Now give that a good stir in. As you can see, I'm now using a wooden spoon. Take it off the heat and give that a real good stir in. Remember, you still may get some contaminants on the surface, and just to whip them off the top. That's it, it's coming down quite well now. See how that clear is? And you see around the edges, you've got contaminants, and you still want to remove those as well. Just whip them off the top of the surface. You're not going to get rid of everything, but as much as you can possibly can. I can see that's absolutely almost clear. See? Clear as clear. Now get yourself a tray that has been frozen. Make sure you've got 4 sides on it. Now we're going to turn this out onto the tray. So basically speaking, we're now cooling that down as fast as possible. If you can get hold of a metal tray, this one's an aluminium one, but if you can get hold of a metal tray, it's better. Now get yourself a spatula. A wooden one's better, or if you've got a metal one like this one, which is basically a scraper, and all you're doing is fold it into the corners, bring it in, and you're absolutely trying now to cool down the product. And as it cools down, it'll start getting whiter. As you can see, it's getting whiter. Always dip your palette knife or scraper into water. Now I'm getting a bowl. I'm filling it up with ice cold water. Popping the bowl in. Now I'm getting the scraper. I'm scraping all up together. As you can see, it's starting to go white. Now add this liquid into the bowl. Now all you're going to do is keep stirring this round now. As you can see, it's already starting to get white. And if every so often you replace the water for colder water in the second bowl, this does help to bring the temperature down. As you can see, it's starting to get very, very white. And as you keep mixing with the wooden spoon, it will actually start getting thicker as well. There you go. You can leave that in the bowl for a few minutes. Get yourself a scraper and scrape it round on the edges. And that is your fondant. It's not ready yet. That's what we've just made. And this is the piece I done earlier. After a bit of practice, you'll end up getting that spot on. Right, now we're going to pop that into a little container. As you can see, it's starting to get thick. That's it, it's all ready. And just put a little name on it. White fondant. Right, now this is the fondant that you made at home. To get this, the same as mine, you have to add in some like fat or some description. This is Trek or white shortening, and whatever you want to call it, it's white shortening. And all we're going to do is add this into here and warm it up. But the idea is you're now going to mix this all together and make it nice and soft. We do need a little bit of water. So I'm going to pop that in the microwave for 1 minute. Right, I've just got this out of the microwave. We'll give it a good stir around. Now you've really got to mix this all in. And you only use white shortening. You don't try using margarine or anything. Turn the fondant from white to yellow. And what's happening to this now is the fat is breaking down. Right, just give this another minute in the microwave. There you go. Right then, we're now going to show you how to use the white fondant. First, pop it in the microwave. You only want to say a minute at a time. Just check it, give it a stir around. It may be it needs a bit longer. Give that a good stir around. Now you need to test the temperature. You don't want the fondant too hot. Dip your finger into water. And it wants to be blood temperature. Not too hot. If you get it too hot, the top of the surface will be dull. Now just put it onto the top. And spread it out with your palette knife or scraper like this. Put some more on. Spread it out well to the edges. There we go. Use that little bit up. And there we go. Now what we need to do is let that set for a bit. Now you can see the shine on the top of the surface. This is getting it just the right temperature. This isn't quite set yet. Now this is what I've done earlier. Cut up the cream slices. See, you can see us still see it's a little bit wet on the edges, but it's fine. 368 grams of baker's fondant. Also, you want 80 grams of dark chocolate drops. The better quality, the best. What we want to do now, guys, is pop it into a bowl or little pot, both together. Now you want to pop the bowl into the microwave. Now please keep an eye on it. You're only melting the chocolate down, not so it's absolutely runny, but just enough to start it going. Once you've got to that point, whip it out of the microwave, give it a good stir around with a palette knife. And it's that simple. Just keep stirring and stirring until it all blends together. And if you want it a little bit darker, just add a little bit more chocolate. That's all you have to do. And that is your chocolate fudge. Now you can use this chocolate fudge in donuts, on top of cakes, inside cakes. You can stick the kitchen tiles on with this stuff if that's what you want to do. But that is as simple as it goes. And for your recipe, 80 grams of white chocolate. Now this is white chocolate chip, which is designed for baking. So it takes a lot longer to melt down. Now you can use ordinary chocolate if you like. Bars of chocolate straight from the supermarket, that's fine. And also you want 368 grams of baker's fondant. Now this is baker's fondant I've made up. There is a link below the video in the description, so you can make your own fondant. And all we need to do now is have your fondant and put your chocolate straight into the fondant. Now we're going to pop that into the microwave for around about 1 to 2 minutes, just to melt down. Now you can melt this down on a bain-marie, which is basically a saucepan with a pot in the top with water underneath. And you can do that on your hob if you prefer. It's a slower method, but I always prefer to do the microwave method. It's much easier and quicker. Give that a good stir around. You can do this separately, where you do your chocolate first and then add it into your fondant. But I prefer to do it this way. Now if you're using bars of chocolate, this would melt in very fast. But because there's less fat in this chocolate, it tends not to break down as fast. Well, there you go, guys. It's that simple. So there's your 750 grams of fondant. And once again, this is what I did earlier. Oh, shouldn't show you the label. Yeah, I got this from the supermarket. I will do a recipe on making your own lemon curd. And this is 320 grams. So basically we're going to warm this up, not too hot, and then add that into it. We also got a bit of colour just in case it's not bright enough. So we'll pop our fondant into the microwave and just warm it up a little bit. I think around about 1 minute in the microwave is plenty long enough for the fondant. And it's just to get it that temperature where you can put your finger in and whittle it around and it don't burn you. If you burn your finger in the fondant or it's that hot, it ain't no good. So that's your fondant, it's just ready. So we'll put that straight into the bowl, give it a good stir around, and put your whole jar of lemon curd in. Oh, that smells good. Can't beat lemon curd. So all we do is mix this in. So we find it's not lemony enough. It's got plenty of lemon flavour, but it needs to be this colour, or round about, give or take. It don't want to be sunshine colour, but it needs to be more yellow. Hopefully I don't put too much colour in and do the opposite to what I actually say. Let's see what that looks like. Best to do a bit at a time. Oh, that'll be plenty. There you go. Very much the same colour. Just mix this in so it's all clear. And we'll just put into our pots. So that's it, folks. It's that simple. And today in the kitchen, we're going to be making a reducing syrup. And I bet you're thinking, what on earth is that all about? Well, in a previous video ago, I made baker's fondant. And this is the ingredient that you add into the fondant to make it softer. So if you're making the inside of a cabbage cream egg, you're going to want to make it a little bit softer. And this is the product you add into it. And for your recipe, you want 170 grams of water, 170 grams of caster sugar, and 28 grams of glycerine. Right, we need a hob, and we just put our saucepan on, add in our water, add in our glycerine, add in our sugar. And all we do is bring this to the boil. Keep stirring. And all we're doing is dissolving the sugar down. Once all the sugar is dissolved, all you need to do is boil this for 5 minutes only. That's it, it's already started boiling. So we need to turn this down a bit. That's it. Now all we're going to do is basically simmer this for 5 minutes. But keep stirring all the time because you don't want it to burn. And that's it. I'm being very careful. All we're going to do is pour this into a jam jar. It's as simple as that. Well, there you go, folks. Wasn't that nice and easy? Yeah, normally I make up around about a gallon of this for the bakery. And this will be plenty for you guys. So when you make your fondant up, you've got this ready to go. Now, just remember, you store it in a jam jar, put a lid on it. This will last forever and a day. It's like golden syrup. It don't go off. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe and please share. And we'll see you again very shortly in the Crazy Baker kitchen on the Crazy Baker channel. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking. Lifestyle. Recipes. Reviews. I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!